Hi, I'm Maggie Mestrich, the Director of Business Development for the Carmel Swim Club and Carmel Swim Academy. It is my great honor today to introduce the host of the newest swimming-centric podcast, Off the Deck. Here's Chris Plumb.
Thank you, Maggie. Excited to get this started, and I guess we're going to dive into this interview.
I think so. Thanks for joining me today. We have a mission in front of us right now. We want to get to know you a little bit more, find out what Off the Deck is, and learn why this was something you wanted to devote your time, energy, and expertise to. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. So before we dive into your upcoming podcast project, Off the Deck, I'd love for our listeners to get to learn a little bit more about you. So can you share what you do and how long you've been part of Carmel Swim Club?
Yeah, sure. I've been at Carmel Swim Club now, I think for 17 years, 15 years as head coach. Started out actually coaching what was then called our Tiger Sharks or our 910s. So I really, worked my way through this company to start almost at the bottom, so to speak. But I've been here a long time. I love what I do. I'm now the head coach and CEO of the Carmel Swim Club. And with that is me being in charge of the whole entire club, but also dealing with all the business side of things. When I first started as head coach, the board was a working board and would do a lot of the things. And now we've moved much more to a management style of things where they manage what we do and they govern what we do. And I do the management day to day. So they decide why we exist as the board, and I decide how things get done. And that's really at the core of it. That's what we do. And, I love Carmel. I love what we do. And I think we have a great thing going. And I'm excited to share about, why swimming is important, why the journey, and why we do what we do.
Wonderful. Well, let's even back up farther now. Where did you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in Buffalo, New York, actually called Hamburg. Still a diehard Bills fan till this day, for better or for worse. But we're on the uprise. We're on the upswing here. But I grew up in Buffalo. Swam competitively in Buffalo, New York. Team called Star Swimming. And we used to just train out of local high schools and junior highs, much different than what we have at Carmel High School, this fabulous 50-meter pool that we have. My earliest memories too of swimming, I remember getting started in the water and just having this natural affinity for the pool. And, when I was 2 or 3 years old, the story's told that we were vacationing, and I kind of remember it, but I don't know if I really do. But my dad would throw the keys to the bottom of the pool. And I remember being at this hotel pool outside. It was just off the beach, and he would throw keys in the bottom. I would go get them and retrieve them. And my grandmother, who just passed away this summer, but she would tell us, she loved telling that story.
Yeah.
How she would watch me as a little boy dive to the bottom and so excited to find these keys down there. So
I love it. How did you get started making the move from getting keys from the bottom of a hotel pool into swimming competitively? What was that path like for you?
Yeah, well, when I was 6 years old, we moved from downtown Buffalo out into the suburbs. My dad started his family practice at our house, basically. And so I think my mom knew that I loved the water. And there was a tryout at the local junior high. And I remember going to do that tryout. It was called Amsdale High School. I think it was called at the time Lakeshore Swim Club. And so I just did probably what we do now, 225s. And I remember this pool and to this day. And I got on the team. So it was kind of like we never looked back from then. And just always the water's been a part of my life.
That's great. How did you then, can you share a little about the trajectory of your swimming career and how it all progressed for you?
Yeah. Being in Hamburg and Buffalo, New York, we thought what was good swimming. We've learned a lot since then, but, I just grew up. We practiced 4 or 5 times a week. I was consistently in the pool during that time. I did soccer and baseball and tennis as well. So I did a lot of other sports, but I think just slowly over time, it just got a little bit better. And that brought me to when I was in high school. I made my first junior national cut in Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember when the IU coaches came to watch me to swim in a meet in Buffalo. And they're like, I remember my teammates like, "Hey, IU coaches are here." I was like, "Oh, wow." So, that success there in high school really led me to come into IU. But at the time, like, we were at a program where we were training probably 15 hours a week, only 5 times a week. And I know some might say only 5, but like compared to what, the athletes do here in Indiana and in Carmel, and what other people were doing around the country, we weren't doing much compared to them. We didn't do doubles.
Yeah.
We didn't have a 50-meter pool. We didn't have all these things, all these advantages that some of the places had. So I felt pretty fortunate to be able to be recruited. And then my swimming career really took off at IU, being able to be an NCAA All-American, being captain, and just really kind of like falling in love with the sport in terms of like what it could do. And if I really committed to something, you could find the success that was available, and just the team camaraderie too. It's hard to beat when you kind of go through blood, sweat, and tears with your buddies, and you just create this bond and just this natural affinity for the pool and for achievement, and having a place where I could achieve all the things that I wanted to do. And I found that through the love of swimming.
That's great. How did you then make the transition from being a swimmer and a student of the sport as an athlete to knowing that you wanted to coach and make a career out of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, my father was a doctor, and I always told people, yeah, I want to go to medical school. This is what I want to do, because I think that's what people wanted to hear.
Yeah. But
somewhere in the back of my head, I just was like, I think I love swimming, and I think I would be a great coach. And, I always enjoyed helping my teammates work on their skills and their things. And we, they kind of was the nerdy kid who would work on those things in practice. But, I always enjoyed helping people, too, growing up, whether it was, helping my grandmother at her house, or helping our neighbor, or helping other people in the sport, both mentally and physically. Like, I just, my mom was a nurse, so I think there was just like, you need to give more of yourself to other people. And there was always this part of me that said, I get joy myself by helping others, and that's why I love what I do. And so to be able to do that in swimming. And so, I took the MCAT. I certainly could have gone to medical school, but I had another semester, and I became the Bloomington South coach.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because just yesterday, a guy named Joe Schroeder and Charlie Laughlin, they sent me a picture of them coaching their middle school kids. And I was like, man, it's come full circle.
Yeah.
I started there, 22, 23 years old, coaching at Bloomington South. And now they have children, and they're doing the same thing. So, I think you combined that desire to help people with something you're good at. And I think you have these unique combinations. I think that's where greatness lies. And it's all I've wanted. Now it's like all I obsess over. So.
So you were at Bloomington South. You eventually became the Tiger Sharks coach at Carmel Swim Club. What happened in between? What led you to that position at Carmel?
Yeah, well, I went down and coached at the University of Miami in Florida. And my wife and I, we had a great time in Florida, but we had our firstborn child, and she pretty much said, we're not raising a child here.
No family around.
That salary of an assistant coach, and I was club coaching. And so she wanted to be around family. And I think she knew, like, given, you know, how much time that coaching takes away, and she wanted to be around family. And, you know, I look back upon that and I totally get it. I mean, it's so much work to raise kids, and you want to have that support. And so we moved back to Indiana, and that really led me to Carmel. I think I said, if I'm going to coach, I'm going to do this. I'm going to find a place where, you know, kind of the ambition and desire to be one of the best matches who I am as well. And I don't know if I knew that at the time, but I think there was like this attraction that brought me to Carmel to doing that, and put me on the deck at Tiger Shark coach. And then I became the head age group coach. And then after that became the head coach.
Yeah. And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
So you've had a lot of success in that role, not just as the head coach of Carmel Swim Club, but also as the head coach of the Carmel High School girls and boys team. The girls just won their 35th consecutive state championship. The boys, their 7th championship in a row this past weekend. What are your goals for this program? What's next?
Well, I mean, I think we always want to make sure we continue to grow and have success and continue to climb that kind of top ladder, putting kids on the Olympic team and having international success and representing our country, I think is also important to me. You know, my father is in the military, and I've always found that representing your country and doing the best that you can is important. And at the same time, we want to grow the Carmel Swim Club. When we do a really good job with the competitive swim program. You know, 6 to 18, we've had a lot of success with the high schoolers and all athletes in that age group. But at the same time, we want to be able to live into our mission more fully, and that's teaching excellence through swimming for life. And that for life part is the key part of that for us right now. We want to grow that part of our mission. So we're going to build a new pool, and with that new pool, we're going to call it the Carmel Swim Academy. We want to be able to teach swim lessons and save lives and be the introductory place for people come to the water, right? We want that to be, when people think of the swimming and getting in the water, we want them to be that happy place, a positive association with the water. And, you know, right now we teach swim lessons at various places throughout Carmel, and one of those places is Carmel High School, but we want to create a more inviting place for people to come and enjoy the water. And so our goal here is to create awareness for water safety, and to reach more into our mission and to reach our community at a deeper and broader level than we do right now.
That's great. Do you have an all-time favorite Carmel swimming memory that you can share?
An all-time favorite Carmel swimming memory.
You just talked about the future and what's coming up. Let's think back a little bit about what this future is grounded in. Why are you so excited to stay here and grow this?
Well, I mean, I think I look back upon the memories. You know, I think anytime I've seen an athlete do something that they didn't think they could do, and they get that look on their face, like that is a memory that just is so cool to me. I think when I've seen our athletes pick up trash after the state championship win, I mean, that just, you know, pulls at your heartstrings, like, oh my gosh, what is so great that we've done. There are other little things too. And I say little, and I don't mean little, but there's just been like steps when, you know, when Trish Regan got her first Olympic trial cut at Carmel High School, like that was a really special thing. Jessie Hamas got her first one. So that was like my first Olympic trial cut. So in 2004, we didn't have any. 2008, we ended up getting 2. But watching those athletes get that. And then, you know, representing Team USA at Junior Pan Pacs, that was a huge moment for me and pretty special. So I have so many special memories. And they're all over the place in terms of like, sometimes they're nothing to do with swimming, you know, like character moments. And other times it's like, it is that special thing where like, you know, it is a gold medal. It is something, because you know how hard each of those people have worked and the community that helped raise them to get there. And it just takes so much. There's so many special memories that I have. And that's why I love this place, because it's really home.
Yeah. Definitely. Why don't we shift a little bit now and talk about this next endeavor, the Off the Deck podcast?
Yeah.
Why launch a podcast? It's not like you don't have anything else that you have going on here.
Yeah,
So
I'm not busy at all. I have so much room for this in my life. No, I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons. I love talking swimming. I love talking to people. I always love learning. Like, learning's my number one word, like, of things that I want to do. And I think this is a great opportunity to learn and to teach and to spread awareness about saving lives in Carmel Swim Academy. That would be one. But to share that, just like the amazing things that swimming can do for you. And like, we need to take, again, pardon the pun, but deep dives with people and like, how did swimming help you and what did it do for you? And so many people accuse us of being a cult, but I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I think there is this special affinity for the water, and I want to share that people, and I want people to know that. I want people to feel that, and I want to make a difference. And if we can share our stories about the water and our development, and using swimming as the vehicle for doing that, I think it's just a great opportunity just to spread the word on that.
It is. I've had the gifted perspective of talking to several of our alumni in the last couple months, and many of them have said what makes Carmel Swim Club so special is that there's not a secret. We'll share knowledge about what we're doing in the water, and we all grow stronger across our sport when we do that. What makes Carmel Swim Club special are the people and the stories and hearing those memories and how people have been able to come together. So the opportunity to share that and learn from other people and other organizations that are so special, I think it'll be pretty fun for people to listen to. Who do you think will benefit from this show?
Oh man, I think if you want to learn about the water, if you want to learn about Carmel swimming, if you want to learn about stories, if you're interested in that, I think this is for you. I do think that even in the general public, like, you want an inside view to what goes on or what makes us successful. This will be insight into that, and you're going to hear stories from former athletes, from parents, and from coaches all through the country. And I think anytime you're talking with people on the front lines, I think who have done it, there is so much you can learn, right? And there's value into that. And what we want to be able to do is keep this consumable. I'm not going to take the Tim Ferriss 2.5 hour podcast.
Yes.
I do want to keep it to where hey, I got 30 minutes. I'm going on a walk. Let's put this on. Let's learn about what's going on at Carmel and hearing from people. And that's what we hope to do.
So what can listeners expect? Who might be on here talking with you? How often are they going to hear from you? What are you thinking?
Yeah, our goal, the good thing about being a podcast is, like, you don't have to necessarily like follow this adherent schedule about when this is coming out or when this is dropping. But our goal is to have once a week talking with, an athlete, a parent, or a coach, just kind of sharing their perspectives and hearing from them about what they have to say about swimming, about Carmel, about life, right? And what are the life lessons they're taking away and how they're being successful, and just trying to have a little bit of fun with it too. About, we have so many different personalities in our sport, and I think it'll be great for more people to hear from us, and like, we have a platform to do that with, and that's what we're going to do.
Wonderful. Okay, something that I happen to know you're planning to incorporate into the podcast, and a tool that you use regularly with your athletes daily, sharing quotes. So I have two questions for you. Number one, why do you choose to incorporate quotes into your workouts, and why are they kind of a signpost in your life?
Yeah, I feel like what you've done is you're taking words. Words have meaning. Words have power. We know that. And you get the opportunity with a quote to take what someone said in a unique way, probably with some credibility behind it. Like, this person probably accomplished something with their life, and this is how they thought. So you're getting a unique insight into words that have stood the test of time. Otherwise, you probably really wouldn't know that quote. And so you're gathering this insight and you're condensing. So it's a powerful way just to say, look, this has stood the test of time in some way. It has meaning, it has value, and it's usually concise and said in a way that can make an impact. So I think that's why I like quotes so much.
All right. So the second question then, if you could pick a quote for today that's kind of guiding your life, setting the tone for today, what would that quote be?
Oh, the gods favor the bold.
Okay.
I mean, you just have to, we talk about it in practice, and we talk about it even in this business, and what we're doing is like, you have to go for it, and you have to take action, and just continually talk about that message.
Okay. So something else, I just have that little bit of insider information that I know you're planning to do in the podcast is to end each episode with a little bit of speed work, kind of some fun and fast questions for your guests. So why don't we do a couple of those now?
Okay, let's do it.
You ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Shallow end or deep end?
Oh, I love the deep end. I feel like you swim in much faster in the deep end than you do in the shallow end.
Oh, okay. Perfect IM order, if you could reorganize it.
Well, we would get rid of breaststroke. It would be gone. But knowing that, I would put breaststroke first, so I could really maximize my start in the pullout.
Oh.
And then I think I would go fly, and then just be able to really back half the back and free. That's how I would do it. I was
thinking how toasted your legs would feel doing right from back into free.
Well, yeah, I don't think there's any way to avoid. I might even go free back. That way you could breathe more.
Oh, there you go.
Order there, yeah.
Okay. Maximize your underwaters on the backstroke, and then just breathe for 12.5 yards.
Yeah, right.
Kickboard or no kickboard?
I like the kickboard.
Okay.
And I don't know if my kids will like to hear this. No, I mean, they probably would, but like, I like the kickboard because I can hear the music when I'm going. I like. We go to these masters practices and there's no music playing. I'm like, God, I need some music here. So I like the kickboard because I could hear the music when I was working out.
Okay, that's a perfect segue into my next question. What's the worst possible song for you to hear pop on during a workout?
Well, being rickrolled, I think is awful. I think anything with like soft 80s pop is just torture. And you got to get that. You got to turn the dial in your head as soon as you can when you hear that.
So what do you like to tune into? What do you like for your kids to practice to now?
Well, I have this personal thing where like I try to subtly introduce good music to them so they know. And especially if they're doing longer sets and they're not going to hear it as much and I have to hear it on the pool deck, it's classic. Put on classic rock and just good music. What I mean by good music, it's typically rock and roll. Things like that. But I know if we're doing a set where they're on the wall a long time, I'm making sure it's music they like, and it's usually some sort of 2000s pop, something like that. The girls really like One Direction, and Taylor Swift has been a very popular choice.
Perfect. Who would you like to do a social kick with?
Who would I like to do a social kick with? And we've had this debate about what to do social, because would they actually have to be able to kick and swim?
I think it can be, they would be imbued with that ability no matter what. So it could be anything.
Well, you're dropping your big English words there.
Do my best.
So I'll take the context and know what that means there. Yeah, I think I would like to sit down with Abraham Lincoln. I think he would tell from the book I read, The Team of Rivals, he had some humor, but he also thought deep and hard and how to basically deal with the hardest part, I think, in American history with the Civil War and our splitting. So I think I would go on a social kick with him. Okay.
Very cool. Well, Chris, anything else you want people to know before we close out today?
Well, we hope, that you join in and taking this podcast. We're excited to bring it to you. And we're ready to dive in with this.
That pun again.
Yeah, that pun keeps coming up. I got a new one, right? You ready to swim along?
We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Well, Chris, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Maggie.
All right. We cannot wait to launch the Off the Deck podcast and bring you interviews from a variety of perspectives and leaders in our sport. Stay tuned for the premiere episode. Thank you.